Hey everybody, we just want to give you a little update regarding our boat.
And some of the things we've discovered with buying a boat in Croatia. It seems Croatian time is a little like Hawaiian time. Some of the things we've noticed was you really need to have a friend in Croatia because a lot of things happen if you know people. If you don't know people, then you're kind of subject to the other people who know each other, and it's you against them. So that's the first thing we kind of learned is once we made some friends and he said, well, I've got a man that does this, or I've got a friend that does this, then it made things a lot easier. So we actually have somebody helping us out now. And so if anybody was coming to Croatia or the Mediterranean to buy a boat, that's really important to know somebody or find a friend.
So our boat finished its last charter yesterday. Currently being cleaned and whatever minor little things. Next week sometime, hopefully by Wednesday, it'll start its survey and inspections and all that good stuff. If the results come back and we're happy, then we can proceed with the purchase.
But the gentleman that's helping us out said that he can't see any reason why it wouldn't go through because basically we're in negotiations now. So if they do find something during the inspection, the price will be reduced to cover any repairs. We do know that the forward water tank was installed improperly, so we're looking at probably a 2 to 3 week repair for that. And that's already a point of discussion that our broker and everybody's working with. We're super excited. The boat, we just saw it today. It's done with charter. So Monday or Tuesday, we're gonna start the in-water inspection process and go do a couple sails, do a sea trial. So it's sitting there, it's ready, and as soon as it's cleaned up, we'll get the survey started on the water and sea trial. And we're breaking the survey down into parts. Instead of just having a surveyor come and survey the whole boat, we're having a rigging inspector check the rigging. We're having an air conditioner and refrigeration man check the air conditioning, refrigeration, electricians check the electrical systems. We've got our broker checking the hull and the minor systems. And of course, during the sea trial, the sails will come out. But most likely after we purchase the boat, I'll take the sails down and have them taken to, they're actually north sails, have them taken in to be stitched over and have a good look at, so we don't have to worry about that for at least a year. Because we anticipate some things, the boat's a 2012, there's probably going to be some through hulls that need to be replaced. So we're doing the inspection. Normally the sea trial would happen after it's pulled out onto the hard, the bottom's washed, and the surveyor checks it. But because we know there's going to be a couple things we want to replace or upgrade, like the solar arch and things like that we're going to build, it didn't make sense doing it in that order since we knew we needed it up in the yard for a little while. So what we're going to do is the sea trial will take 2 to 3 days. We're going to sail it a couple times and have all the experts come in and check the systems while it's connected to shore power. And then after all of that's completed, then we'll take it to the yard, have it hauled out, and begin the work and have the rest of the hull inspected. So some of the things about buying a boat in Croatia, and I would imagine it's probably the same in the rest of the Mediterranean, but I took some notes. So when we got here, we were under the assumption that you buy something like you buy something in the United States. It's like, I want that boat, I like it, let's do the inspection, here's the cash. 2 weeks later, the boat is yours, you started repairs and upgrades, and then you go sailing and have lots of fun. So here, when I told a British friend that is living here in Croatia that, oh yeah, we plan to be in the water, it's gonna finish its last charter day, the 25th of September, you know, a week of inspections, get the paperwork done and the sails, and he kind of laughed at me and said, oh no, you can't do anything in Croatia in less than 30 days. So then we started getting concerned. So the next concern was, in Croatia, as a visitor, we can only stay 90 days. Well, we came July 20th to make sure we'd have time to look at other boats and to be able to inspect this boat, get our feet on the ground, and find the people we needed. What are some of the things that we learned about being here in Croatia as extended visitors? Yeah, like...
Okay. So, if you want to stay longer than 90 days, you can apply for a temporary resident permit. And so in order to have that, you've got to have special birth certificates, and in my case, a marriage certificate that proves my name change. It's called apostille. So the certificates have a special signature,
stamp or seal from
from
authority.
the Department of State, from the State Department. What do you call the State Department?
From the Florida Department of State, if that's where you're born, or the Utah Department of State, or Utah State Department. So the point is, if you come to Croatia to buy a boat, expect to be here probably longer than 90 days. If you don't come over, make the deal, go back home, and then just wait until everything's completed, then come back and pick your boat up. I didn't want to do that. I wanted to be here touching, feeling things, making connections, and making sure work's getting done like it's supposed to. So an apostille birth certificate, you can't just get it online. It has to go somebody like the state of Florida. Thank you. I'm proud of my heritage of being born in Florida, but you can't order an apostille birth certificate. You have to get the birth certificate and then either mail it or have somebody take it to the Florida State Department, and then it has to be verified by them. So if you do it by mail, you have to send them a check or money order. You can't get online and do it with a credit card. And so of course, we didn't bring our checkbook. We weren't thinking about writing checks in Croatia. So that brings up another added expense. If you're gonna ship anything from the US to Croatia, DHL is probably the fastest if you want it here fast, but it can be maybe $100 for a single manila envelope. Or a box. How much did your mom say that box was she was gonna ship?
$200.
Oh, like $200. So that's another eye opener. So have your apostille birth certificates, and just because you have a passport that was issued by the US government, that the US government says you're not wanted by the FBI, you still have to have a background check completed, which requires fingerprints. Then you need to send it back to the US State Department to have the FBI certify that you're not a criminal. Even though they gave you a passport, you need to verify to somebody else you're not a criminal. So just know that there are some rules and things that you just have to abide by in somebody else's country, and that's one of the things. We finally found somebody with the church, luckily, that works and helps with all the missionaries and their passport issues. So he's working on the extension process for us. So thank you, Christian, for your help in that respect. Some other things we've learned, be patient. Things move, again, Croatian speed. Talked about knowing a guy. So if you're planning on coming to Croatian, message me down below that you want information. You're thinking about that idea, and I can respond and provide you an email address and maybe some information on a guy. So you'll have a guy in Croatia that can help you out. Families are big in a lot of these Mediterranean countries, and things go a lot faster and smoother if you know somebody. Have some reserves. Everything's going to cost a lot more than you think. We planned, but there's added expenses that I didn't think about. You know, I thought, well, when we get on the boat, now that it's getting cooler here, it's coming up on October, I thought we don't have blankets yet. And then that's an added expense that I didn't think about in the boat. And then certain appliances and things like that, it wouldn't hurt to over budget a little bit so you don't run out of money.
Well, not only that, if you're going to apply for the temporary residency, they require a big lump sum in an account. You have to show a statement. And so, make sure you've got some savings set aside for that proof.
For us, it was 20,000 euros in a bank account because there's 6 of us. So that was a figure that Christian said was enough that they would know that we weren't here to become part of their welfare system as illegal immigrants, that we're actually here to buy a boat. Stay busy. What have we been doing to stay busy?
Oh, let's see. We make movies for you guys.
That keeps us busy.
We explore. We try to find new things to do. We're homeschooling the girls. Well, the 2 younger ones.
And that keeps you busy?
That keeps us busy, keeps me busy. So we try out new places to eat, try new foods, learning some of the language. I
love the foods. Just wanted to get that in real quick.
Kako ste?
Yeah. Dobro sam. Evi?
Dobro. That's about all we can say.
So
How
we're learning.
are you?
We're learning a little Croatian, and it's funny because we've practiced enough now in the month and a half or so we've been here that sometimes when we hop in an Uber, we say that in Croatian, and they start talking back to us in Croatian. Then we have to give them the hooked fish look, like, What? Sorry, we're not really Croatian. So it's kind of funny. Learn the language. Anywhere you go in any country, the people respect it, especially the words like thank you and please. Really go a long way. And then just learning to say, how are you today? It's amazing the response you see in Uber drivers or restaurant help or just anybody. It shows you respect their culture and you're not just here to be a lazy, stupid American or whatever country you're from. So enjoy the food and the culture. The seafood here is fantastic. Yesterday, I had some sashimi that was just melt in your mouth, and I think after this filming I'm going to talk Jen into going up there with me to get some more, even though she doesn't like raw fish as much as I do. But oh, car insurance. So every now and then, every couple weeks, we rent a car so we can go out and explore, because there's so many. Though the bus system locally is very reliable, we've found, and pretty cheap and inexpensive, everybody uses it. There are some sites that we want to go to up in the mountains or farther away that to do bus transfers just wouldn't be worth it to us. So every now and then we rent a car. Car rentals are cheap here, and I'll tell you why. They don't include collision insurance. They hold the minimum liability so that they don't get sued, but they don't have collision to protect the car that you're renting. It doesn't matter Hertz, Dollar, any of the rental car agencies, you have to pay for the agency. In some places, it can cost twice as much to pay for that insurance. So just anticipate that. So if your car rental is $230 a week, like I just found one next week because it's starting to get low tourist season, expect to pay another $150 in an insurance policy to be able to make sure. And I'll tell you, the first car we rented for the first week, I didn't buy the policy. I thought, I'm not going to wreck your car. The streets are so friggin' narrow. It's like trying to what? Like park a semi in a 7-Eleven parking lot. Just do yourself a favor. Relax after your car rental. Just pay for the insurance so you're not worried about parking, because you're going to have to squeeze that car into some very, very tight parking spots. And that's the thing you'll learn. So that's about all I can think of. Is there anything else?
Other things we've been doing, we've been trying to help out and volunteer in different areas. Those are some other things you can look for and do. Those are plentiful. And yeah.
There's actually a no-kill shelter here in Split, technically, that they actually do something on Airbnb where you can pay to go and play with the dogs at the beach, and they bring them to the beach on Saturday, and you get to play with them for a couple hours. He teaches about the importance of the no-kill shelter and what they do, and this shelter is so popular. When you went, Jen and the kids went and did some service yesterday, and where were the people from that came?
There were people from Egypt, Lithuania, Germany, England, and then us from the US. And Brazil.
And who came just to work?
Oh, the two kids from Egypt, they're in their early 20s. They came to Croatia just to help this particular shelter. That's the only reason they're here. That's pretty amazing.
We've done some service planting trees up in the mountains for reforestation after a lot of fires here. We've helped clean a church, get it ready when the church was moving into a new building, and then the kids are helping out at the animal shelter, and then we helped out at the beach with the dogs. So we want to be able to not just kind of go someplace and use it and enjoy the beautiful sights and then move on. What we want to do is every time we go someplace, we actually want to get involved in the community as much as possible and be able to help out where we can. So that's how we're going to be able to do it, is through Patreon. Make sure you subscribe so when we pop out a new video, you guys will get updates, because we're going to have a lot of updates on the boat.
Hopefully very soon.
Yeah, hopefully very soon, but not as soon as we would like, of course. But eventually this sailing channel will include what?
What?
Sailing.
Oh.
Eventually we're going to have some sailing videos for this sailing channel. So stick around and subscribe to make sure you get those videos. And again, thanks so much for tuning in, and we appreciate your support and watching these videos.
All right, thanks.